This segment is brought to you by St. Martin and Bourke. Know your rights.
Hey everybody, welcome back into Bayou Time. Harry McCullough here. We're going to talk a little bit about an unrest at a Terrebonne Parish school. Here to talk more about it is First Lieutenant Blake Tabor of the Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office. You know, school time, I guess we're out for the holidays, most people this week, but disturbance anytime we're involved in schools can escalate, and, you know, people don't know what's going on, and
Absolutely.
So y'all made an arrest there.
Be very concerning, you know. So this is one that, you know, started on November 14th, a couple Friday ago, where there was a disturbance at a school between a teacher's aide and a custodian. So, you know, this was one that garnered a lot of interest on our Facebook page, you know, and a lot of times when we do these press releases, we really can't delve too deep into the circumstances. But this was one that kind of happened over the course of a couple days, you know, and people were shocked when they heard it was because the teacher's aide was taking toiletries from the restroom and using it in the classroom. But as a matter of fact, that's exactly what happened. And this ultimately led to her and a custodian who is not being named in the investigation at this point to have a slight verbal altercation. On the following morning, the teacher's aide arrives to work with her husband in tow, and ultimately allows him to enter the building by scanning her Terrebonne Parish credentials. He enters the building and then quickly locates the custodian, where a large verbal disturbance happens, and then ultimately that leads to a physical disturbance. So again, this was something that we were in the process of investigating, and ultimately we were able to secure arrest warrants and arrest the first person, which was the teacher's aide, identified as a Dion H. Domingue. She's a 52-year-old female from Houma. You see her, from Thibodaux. You see her photographed here. Ultimately, she was brought in last Friday on the 21st, where she was arrested, and she was charged for a multitude of charges, and in connection with this case, you know, and it's a scary situation for parents whenever their kids are potentially around this type of behavior. Now, this particular incident happened before school, before the kids were to arrive, so for that we are blessed. And then ultimately, once she was arrested on Friday, she ended up bonding out. So she was arrested for principal to battery of a school teacher, principal to simple criminal damage to property, and principal to unlawful disruption of an operation of a school. She was arrested and then jailed on a $25,000 bond and quickly was released after she bonded out on that. That left us to the topic of her husband, which was a Joshua Domingue. He's a male from Thibodaux who was ultimately a wanted person up until today. You see him photographed here. He was ultimately charged with the same identical charges, and detectives secured an arrest warrant for him. When they went to locate him, they had some trouble locating him. So at this point, we don't know if he was evading capture, or, you know, he was out doing something that just brought him away from Terrebonne Parish. But ultimately today, with the assistance of the Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office, they were able to locate him. So again, he was charged and is incarcerated on all the previous charges that his wife was, in addition to one count of theft, which was not listed in the original press release.
Okay, and the custodian?
The custodian was not charged in this particular case. It's my understanding that once the detectives reviewed all of the video surveillance footage, which was extremely vital in this, and again, it's not just video footage. We have to talk to people. We do investigations that are very in-depth. They were able to determine that he was not the aggressor, and he was acting in a way to protect himself as a result of what Mr. Domingue was performing.
Now, one of the big issues because of the swipe card there? Is
that is a huge issue. So again, you know, it's kind of like a police officer who is entrusted with a firearm to protect people, right? These teachers and teachers' aides are also enlisted with, you know, the ability to protect people by using these swipe cards. That's why those security features are in place. And for her to quickly just swipe that so that her husband can go and confront someone that she was having an issue with is very disturbing.
Yeah, and so, you know, in corporate world, you worry about HR and doing all
Absolutely.
But that's kind of what you should do, right? Bring it up
Absolutely.
to the principal, not just go, all right, we're doing this
Taking
here.
it in our own hands.
Fight Club. Watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, you know, people talk about, oh, it's toiletries, but, you know, this goes far beyond that, right? This is about people trying to do their job and do it the right way, and the proper protocol was not taken in order for her to report if she felt like something was wrong.
Right. So always better to do that. You don't want to always any way resort to violence,
Especially in a workplace.
especially in a school. So yeah, both of those things for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, holidays coming up. We're in the Thanksgiving holidays this week. Like I say, no school, but the whole holiday periods, you guys got stuff going on.
Absolutely. So biggest shopping day of the year, right? That's what they say. And we know that that's migrated from people actually physically shopping to doing more of the online Black Friday shopping, right? Which, obviously we love because that's much safer. It allows the streets to not be as populated, but we do know from just from past that people will get out there and they will do those things. So in response to that, we're going to have our holiday patrols out. We're going to have officers on bicycles, extra patrol officers that are out in the parking lots. And again, we just want people to do the same things that they do on a daily basis and just be vigilant. But again, there's going to be more people coming into our area than on a normal daily basis. So again, it's a way to make sure that they're extra cautious about what they're doing.
You mean you can't just fight at the store anymore?
Cannot do that anymore, not without going to jail anyway.
That's one of the things people used to actually sleep over,
Absolutely.
Best Buy or whatever it was. Most of that's online, and you guys kind of watch online stuff too, right?
Absolutely. So we're being very proactive when it comes to the online scams because again, that is a concern. But just making sure that everyone gets home safe and enjoys their holiday, and that's what's paramount.
Yeah. No fight club in
No
the parking
fight clubs.
lot. All right, we appreciate it, Blake. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back with more Bayou Time right after this.
This segment was brought to you by St. Martin and Bourke. Know your rights.